Oh, hey, y'all play video games? Oh, yeah, you caught me. I was playing my Wii U. One of the best consoles ever released, by the way. Oops, I'm dropping it. So anyway, I decided to rank my top 15 games of all time and do a video talking about them briefly. I'm just gonna fucking list them and then maybe talk a little bit about each of them. I do kind of have planned a second video that accompanies this where it's like my 15 favorite indie games. I tried to reduce like overlap between the two. So if there's a game that's like, I did this one first, so this one is more like just let's jump in. Coming in at number 15, we have I Spy Spooky Mansion, and I am like theoretically, I'm going to say deluxe, the deluxe version, because that's the one that I played. But this is a very like nostalgic childhood game for me because it is like pretty much one of the first games that I played, video games in general. And it was like we had like the computer disc like CD for it that you would put into the computer, and that's how you would like download and play the game. And that was just like a really like special era of like gaming for me that I kind of miss to some degree. I do think that that's like like it is no longer a thing. I mean, you can do it, but I just think that it's such a charming game, and ultimately I do like full-heartedly believe that this game kind of got me into liking scary and spooky and horror genre type things, because I didn't always play that type of stuff. But this was like the first one, and I just loved it so much. I attribute like this game and Scooby-Doo as a franchise to kind of making me fall in love with that sort of like aesthetic and vibe. And it's just such a charming game. It is an I Spy game, so like it's not that in depth. It's looking for things, but I like the little riddles that they have. I like the little mini games that they have, and I like the little skeleton guy that you help out and whatever. So it's a really charming game, and I love it to pieces. Coming in at 14 is one that I kind of debated for a while because I didn't know if it should be on this list, mostly because I assume it's because of recency bias, but I have Balatro. And Balatro is like a poker roguelike indie game that is absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't seen or heard of this game, I would be surprised. But I have like, it's just one of those games that you can kind of go in and do a run and then like be done, which is very nice at sometimes when you don't really feel like you have the time or want to take the time to like play a game for hours on end. So I really enjoy that about this, but also it's just really well done. There are so many synergies that you can have that my small brain can't really fully figure out or comprehend. And I haven't like really gotten into the game that much, which is why I kind of contemplated putting it on this list or not, because I didn't know if it should be taken up by something else that is used more of my time. But I just really like everything about it. The art style is really fun, the music is really fun, and it's just like an addictive gameplay loop that is fun to try and like figure out new strategies and ways to beat. Coming in at number 13, I have Your Turn to Die, and this is another game that I have not finished. Balatro, you can't really, I mean, you could finish it, I guess, but it's not really a finishable game. Your Turn to Die is. However, it's not even complete yet. This game is not done, but I love it so much. I fell in love with this game, and honestly, it just means a lot to me right now because it is like my favorite series that I've done on YouTube here. I enjoy every second of doing that. Sometimes it is a little bit challenging, just because it is like longer videos of me doing voices that sometimes aren't great on my throat. I really enjoy all of the characters of it. It has already made me cry, and I'm not even through the second chapter. I do really appreciate this game, and I hope that it like is able to finish strong and it does really cool things. I found out recently that it was made in Game Maker, so honestly, just props to the people that made this. I think the art is really cool, and it obviously has references to other things I like. Here are some hints in the background. You can't fully see, but they're there. But yeah, it's just a game that I really enjoy, and I'm thankful to have had, because it reminds me of what I used to do on YouTube, which is just playing a game, enjoying it, and kind of getting a bit of a community around that. So I really appreciate this game. In the 12th spot, we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Realistically, I would also tack on, like, in the same vein, Kirby's Return to Dreamland I don't know if it's deluxe, but the remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, that they recently released on Switch. But this is like, Kirby games have always, again, hold on, there's a Kirby right there. Kirby games have always been very special to me, and I just absolutely adore the games. I didn't really grow up with some of like the older consoles and stuff that some people had. My first console was the Nintendo DS, and then the Wii after that. And so Kirby games were really good for me, because I enjoy that they are an easier video game franchise to get into, because the games don't always tend to be that difficult, at least not in the beginning, right? Like, they have a good start where it kind of lulls you in and teaches you how to play them. But I think that Return to Dreamland is just like a really good 2D platformer Kirby that just kind of nails all of its components. And I have fond memories. This is a game that I would really play with my childhood best friend. Like, I would go over to her house and we would just play this game. And I had so much fun with it, so many good memories, that I felt that it was deserving to be on this list. There are other Kirby games that could have gone here, like Kirby Mass Attack for the DS or something like that. But I felt that this was the more like solid, more time played, more memories made game that goes on this list. And then at number 11, we have Minecraft. If I'd made this video like 5-10 years ago, Minecraft would have been much higher on this list, because I do love the game. I grew up watching people play this game on YouTube. Some of those creators are, well, let's just say, not here anymore for good reason. I don't know. It's like how some people get like really enthusiastic about like TV shows like Game of Thrones or something. For me, Minecraft was that, because I never really got into other things. But Minecraft was that. It's probably one of the games that I know most knowledge about, just because I've seen a stupid amount of information about it, and my brain likes to lock that in for whatever reason. Eventually, when I got my first iPhone, I got Minecraft Pocket Edition, and that's the first way I played Minecraft, because I didn't have a computer to myself for a little bit. And so I played Minecraft Pocket Edition, and I have very fond memories of that. Back when the fucking Nether reactor core was added, I remembered that so distinctly, because that was like mind-blowing to me. It's just like core memory unlocked with that. But Minecraft is just such a good game. You can do what you want. You can explore, you can build, you can play how you want. And I really do appreciate the game. I like the things that it has done. And it's just, I don't play it as often anymore, so it's a little low on the list now. And then at number 10, we have Devour, which is one of my favorite horror indies, mostly because it's just such a good game to play with friends. I will say, like, the game ultimately is not like that polished. It's an indie game, and you can see like some of its flaws or where it's lacking a little bit of quality. But truly, the developers of this game put in so much work and effort that I love the game. Playing with friends is just incredible. There are some really good challenges that you can get out of playing this game, where it truly feels like a success if you win. And I've played the game on my channel a couple of times before, but I truly do love this game. It's just fun all around. I don't like all of the maps. They just released a new map, which I'm having fun with. Personally, I don't really like the inn that much. I wouldn't choose to play it that often, but I like that it's there, and that the maps kind of all have their unique thing that you have to do. Like they change up the gameplay enough where it's satisfying, but the core game loop mechanics are always still there, and I greatly appreciate that. And then coming in at number 9, we have Killing Floor 2. And I just have to double check real quick. Killing Floor 2 is currently my most played game on Steam, coming in at 322 hours played. Yeah, that's kind of a lot. I didn't really grow up playing shooters, like first person shooters. I didn't really have Call of Duty to play. I didn't get into any of that. And so eventually when I got into Killing Floor 2, I really liked it because the gameplay just felt smooth. It felt good. There's a bunch of different maps you can pick. Now, granted, they're not all good. I often will pick like the same 10 to 15 maps and then ignore the rest, but that's okay. I really like how the perks work in this game. I like how the weapons feel. There are some that I don't like, but there's so many that I do that it doesn't matter, and that I always have variety. If I want to play with a different setup, I can. I have fully leveled up each of the perks, so I have put a lot of time into this game, and I just think that it's like a pretty decent first person shooter. And I like that you can play co-op, which I have, and I do, and I have fun with that. But it's also just one of those games that I can go play single player, shut my mind off for a little bit, have some fun, and then in 30 minutes to an hour, I'm done and be like, you know what? I had a good time. Not time wasted. Coming in at number 8, we have Phasmophobia, and I don't know if this would be a surprise to anyone that knows me, but Phasmophobia is one of my favorite horror games ever. I just think it's really fun. I really enjoyed getting into like learning the mechanics of the game, and I have such distinct memories of playing this game with my friends when it first came out and being like, what the fuck do we do? And like panicking. And it was funny because at the time, like the ghosts, like mechanics and AI were not that smart. So like we were never really in that much danger, but it felt like we were, and that's what really mattered. And as the game has progressed and gotten more and more updates, it's just gotten better. The ghosts have become more in depth, and they've added like new evidence items and stuff like that I really enjoy. I wish the updates came out a little bit faster, but I do really like the game, and I'm glad to have it in my life because it is also one of the top played games. It is my third most played game on Steam, coming in at 210 hours. It's easy it's easy for me if you have all 3 evidences. So I usually put it down to 2 and then try to guess off the ghost mechanics. So it's a fun challenge for me, and I like it. Coming in at number 7, we have the first racing game of this list, and that is Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. This is kind of a strange one to have on your list, I feel, because I feel like most people would lean towards Mario Kart. And spoiler alert, there is a Mario Kart game on this list. But Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing was like my racing game for the most part, because I had it on the DS, and I didn't really care for like that's I still don't. I didn't really care for Sonic as like a franchise, really. I like the characters and I like the things that come out of it. I just don't really like the games that much, right? So it was surprising to me that a Sonic racing game was what really got me invested. And I just like seeing all the different characters. I like having all the different maps from these places. Like you have I forget what it's called, the mansion, the spooky mansion place. And my favorite character to play as is Opa Opa, which is such a weird random pull, but I just like that he's just like this little guy that you fucking are and play as. I don't know. Definitely one of the games I've probably put the most time into in my entire life. So that's a bonus for sure. And then after that, coming in at the number 6 spot, we have Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this is probably because I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet. I started it and then I stopped because I got busy and my brain was not in a place to put that much time into a video game. But Breath of the Wild is like an interesting story for me because I originally did not like it. I'm not very good at that type of like combat in video games, so the combat always felt like challenging to me. And I got stuck at some point on the Great Plateau, and I was like, fuck it. I give up. I'm done. I don't want to play this game anymore. And so I stopped. And then months later, I was like, I should really give it another go because people love this game. So I picked it up. I did look up a guide to figure out what to do on the place that I got stuck, and then I just got hooked. I got hooked in the world, all of the different lore beats. I wanted to find everything. I found all of the shrines. I found and collected all of the gear pieces, all of the armor sets. It was just something that I have such fond memories of because I sunk hours into this game and I don't regret it at all because I really enjoyed it and I liked that I eventually found my way to play the game. Granted, not a good way to play the game. I pretty much exclusively used bombs for combat and I did not really ever use horses. So it's weird. I didn't play it in a good way, but I did really enjoy it. So it's here on the list. And then coming in at number 5, we have the next racing game, which is Mario Kart DS. Yes, that's right. Mario Kart DS is my favorite racing game, my favorite Mario Kart game. I've probably put more hours into other games, other racing games, but Mario Kart DS is just like a special little prize for me. I love everything about it. I love the vibes. I love the tracks, the courses. I mean, obviously there are some bad ones because I don't think there's a Mario Kart game that doesn't have bad tracks. But God, I fell in love with it. I like that you can play as Dry Bones. I like that you can play as Yoshi. I like that you can play as Rob and Donkey Kong. And then they have great levels like fucking Luigi's Mansion and Banshee Boardwalk. Again, spooky ones because I love that vibe. It has such a charm to it that I can't ever escape from. It's just some of my best memories. And this was another game that I loved playing with my friend, my childhood best friend, because you get to do like the versus things where you pop like each other's balloons, and like there's that one cake level where you like go up the cake like a volcano, and it's just I love it. And then you have missions as well. What the fuck, Mario Kart DS? You put so much sauce into this. God damn, I wish they would do that more often. Coming in at number 4, we have Rayman Origins. And this is a very special, important game to me because I was not a platformer fan. I didn't really like platformer games. I wasn't really good enough at them, I don't think. And also, I just didn't enjoy them. I beg you, Ubisoft, please make a third Rayman game that isn't mobile. Because you have Rayman Origins and then Legends, and then they did like some fucking mobile game. I didn't like Legends as much, but I do really like Origins. I think Origins is just such a good game. I think that the controls are really fluid and good. I like the variety in the levels. I like the bosses a lot. It's just one that I really enjoy, and it has the bonus of being a game that I played with my mom a lot, and I will always cherish those memories. So I love this game. All right, before we get into the top 3, I want to do a couple of quick honorable mentions. First of all, here's one that I'm going to bring up. Master Detective Archives Rain Code. This is by the same creators as Danganronpa, and boy howdy did I thoroughly enjoy this game. I don't think it ever like reached the same level of Danganronpa for me, but I did really enjoy this game. The story was really compelling for me. I think it was a little bit predictable, but ultimately I didn't really have any issues with the game. I think the art style is gorgeous. I really love looking at this game. I enjoyed playing it. The mechanics were fun. The exploration was fun. I just like the worlds that it built, and I really hope that they make a sequel. Another honorable mention I have is indie game If Found, and this is a really, truly beautiful, queer indie game that I would recommend anyone play. It's a short game. You can beat it in basically an hour and a half, 2 hours. Recently, I did a whole full gameplay video where I played the whole thing over on my other channel. If you want to check that out, I'll link it in the description. But this game is just incredibly beautiful. I love the art style. I love the simplistic like gameplay of it that really makes you like feel like you're a part of the world in a way. And I just really like the message that it has and the story. And the story is something that will stick with me. So that's why it's here. Coming up, we also have Just Dance 3 for the Wii. Yeah, I was really into Just Dance as a kid. But hey, I had my fucking fun with this game, and that's what really matters. This is another one. Such good memories playing with friends as a kid, and I have some of these songs ingrained into my skull because of this game. And I had so much fun with this game. It's a Just Dance. It's not that complex, but it's Just Dance. So that's why it's here. And then my last honorable mention is going to be Terraria, because I think Terraria is just such a good game. It's just, I never got into it as much as like other people, as much as some other games, but I love Terraria. This is a game that I played a lot with my friends in high school and I have very fond memories of. Usually I had to be carried a little bit because I didn't really know what I was doing or what to do, but I enjoyed the customization of it. I liked the building. I liked all the things you could do in it. And I liked the boss fights a lot. The bosses are just really fun. Yeah, I love Terraria. It deserves to be somewhere in this video, but is sadly stuck to honorable mentions. All right, now we get to the top 3 games on my list. And coming in at number 3, we have Mortal Kombat 11. I know people don't really agree with that, but let me just check Steam real quick. Yep. It's my second most played game on Steam, coming in at 318 hours. And honestly, I would be putting in more if I if I hadn't uninstalled it because I wanted to make space on my computer. And I probably will re-download it at some point so I can play it more. So I fell in love with the Mortal Kombat franchise by proxy of a friend. A friend introduced me to the franchise. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And like, I'm not good at video games, at least not most video games. And so the concept of playing a fighting game was really scary to me. But one thing that I really appreciate about the Mortal Kombat franchise is that they have a designated block button. And if it weren't for that, I don't know if I would enjoy Mortal Kombat as much, because truly my problem was with other fighting games is that like where you have to hold back on the stick to block. It just feels weird to me. It doesn't feel right. I like having that designated block button, and it makes it feel playable to me, someone who isn't very like good at video games. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like a weird fucking like motor dysfunction, like gaming dyslexia type thing where if the controls are like too complicated, like I could do them theoretically, but like my brain just loses like connection at some point and will forget what buttons are what, and it's really hard for me. But Mortal Kombat is great because I feel like it kind of resolved that. So I played through 9, 10 or X, and then 11. Mortal Kombat 11 is weirdly the one that hooked me. I don't think the gameplay objectively is as good as the others, but I enjoy it because it's a little bit slower, and some of the characters I just have a lot of fun with. And I just love the story mode and the characters of all the Mortal Kombat games. And then I have a problem where if a game has collectibles, I will have to try to get them. And Towers of Time, oh buddy, I sunk my fucking time into that just to get skins and gear pieces for characters that I would frankly never use. Yeah, I love this game. Coming in at number 2, you kind of knew it had to be done on here somewhere, and that's Danganronpa. I contemplated cheating and putting all 3 of the main title games on here. Instead, I am going to pick one, and I'm going to pick the original Trigger Happy Havoc. And that isn't to say that I think it's the best game, because I don't know which one I think is the best. I think they all do something better than the others, but I think I'm purely probably giving it to Trigger Happy Havoc because it was the first one that I played and I knew nothing about it going in. And so it just really hooked me. I absolutely love the characters, and I think Trigger Happy Havoc has some of my favorite characters and my most heartbreaking moments. And so that's probably why I'm putting it above the rest. But I don't agree with everything the game does, or like the weird fucking things that it has going on about it. But I fell in love so hard, and it quickly became one of my favorite just properties, franchises of all time. So yeah, gotta put it on the list. And then coming in at number one, we have Kirby's Epic Yarn. The Wii version, not the fucking deluxe, whatever, the extra Epic Yarn. But this game is like the most special game to me. This is the game that means the most to me ever, period. And it always will. This was the game that made me realize that I can enjoy platformers and that I like games. The main complaint lodged against it is that it's too easy. And frankly, who gives a shit if a game is too easy? I do think it's an easy game. I don't think it's challenging. If you want 100% it, it can be challenging, but it's not a challenging game, and that's fine. It's okay to be that way. It doesn't have to be aiming to be like a difficult experience. As it is, I love the game. The art design is incredible. This is before Yoshi's Woolly World or other games like that. The only game that kind of closely did something before it was Sackboy. I give this game major props because it's just so cool. The art style is really good, really cute, really adorable, and really unique. Pretty much all of the levels I like. They are just permanently ingrained into my brain, and I just appreciate all of them. By far, my favorite thing are the boss fights. I think the boss fights are incredible. Fangora, and then Hot Wings, and then Squashini, and then King Dedede, and then Meta Knight, and then Yin Yarn are all great boss fights that I have so many memories of, and I just really, really like doing the boss fights. I don't know, it's great. And then the collecting is really fun. You're trying to look for these little furniture pieces and all this and all that, then you get the beads, and then you feel good when you get a full 3-star medal because you got all the beads. It feels good. But ultimately, probably the main reason this game is number one for me is because it is the number one game that I played with my mom. And we had so much fun playing through the entire game. And I really cherish those memories because it was just an absolute delight to get to play that with her. And I think it's a game that's really well suited for multiplayer, and it's just such an enjoyable experience to play with someone else. And I'm eternally grateful for this game, for giving me those memories, or for allowing me. They didn't give me anything, for allowing me to make those memories by existing. So yeah, I will always love Kirby's Epic Yarn. It is what truly made me fall in love with Kirby. Again, I liked other Kirby games before it, but yeah, this one takes the cake. It's my favorite game of all time. Forever will be. I don't think anything will ever take that spot. It's a good game. And if you want to watch me play the whole thing, and eventually I am going to be doing a whole review, in-depth podcast, whatever episode about it, you can go ahead over to my other channel where I have played through all the game, and we'll eventually be doing that special little review, in-depth video about it. So subtle little shill at the end here, but hey, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. But also, what are your favorite games? What are your top 15? If any of these are your top 15, I'd be kind of surprised, but I would really like to know. Let me know. Let me know what yours are. I'm curious. Oh, that was gross. Anyway, let me know what your favorite games of all time are. You don't have to put them in order like I did, because that can be overwhelming, and this was hard, by the way. But just be like, here are some of my favorite games, and I really like to hear that. I don't know, I like hearing about games, even if I don't always enjoy playing a game. I do have a deep fascination for them, and I like when other people enjoy games, even if I don't. So I don't know, I just think it's a really fun, special community that is great. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. I have to get back to my Wii U gaming. My Wii U gaming. Wow. Okay, but let's be serious though for a moment. The Wii U, was it terrible? Yes. Objectively, yes. However, I do think it's a good console because it has Wii backwards compatibility, so it's great in that aspect. I can play all my Wii games on it and the Wii U games, all like 5 of them that exist. And it, before the eShop and stuff shut down, you could get a bunch of like old games on it as well. So like it's a great console for just like video games in general, for collecting games. And I feel bad for the shit that the Wii U gets. Yeah.